Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you some of these Waldorf materials I got printed from Hard Copy HQ. I just did a unboxing and I went through this whole guide and then I realized that I hadn't clicked record. These files I found on the Waldorf teacher website and I believe they're open source. They're meant to be helpful to Waldorf High School teachers. And after I had this sent to the printer, I realized this is kind of like a symposium on how to start a Waldorf High School. And so it has a lot of stuff that's not necessarily relevant. It's kind of like a conference layout, which is probably how this was made. So it talks about the budget, how much, to pay for teachers and things like that. And I think this is from the 90s. So, yeah. And so the thing that I was most interested in is if you look at page 103, it has a sample block schedule, and then it has a further explanation of the different main lesson blocks. And so I'm interested in that because I kind of look at, what is a classical approach teaching in high school? What is a Charlotte Mason approach teaching in high school? What does Waldorf teach in high school and why? And so I kind of wanted that information. And then these are sample course descriptions, which could be great if you need help creating a narrative transcript. And then the thing that I was most interested in this was the reading list. So there's readings for the teachers of how to be Waldorf High School teachers, and then I really am interested in this, which is the sample reading list for students. So I'm really going to dig into this, and of course there's a lot of overlap with other programs because a lot of these are classic books, and also you have overlap with world literature. So I thought that was great. And then there's also sample broken down by subject, nonfiction, sample summer reading lists. So I thought that was really great. And I'll put the links to where I found this in the comments soon when I remember. But I just kind of wanted to share that. This is one of the sources. I know one of you had asked me, like, how do I decide what to do and how do I do it with Waldorf? And so I kind of start with this process of I want to learn as much as possible and see what the different options are, and then I go from there. And so the next thing that I did is I ordered these different science books because this year I'm trying to do the Charlotte Mason living science approach with my 9th grader. I'm still sticking to textbooks with with next year's 10th grader for now. But I kind of, I know that Waldorf does a very demonstration based and, like, I guess I would call it living science, where you're telling like more of a narrative about things, and observation based. And so I kind of want more information as a teacher, but also like, how do we do these experiments? And I do think that the CMEC provides a lot of information on that. But I've kind of wanted more for me, like these things to look at, if that makes sense, before I dive into that approach. And so these are the demonstrations that I think in the lower grades the teacher would do, but as they get older, I'm assuming you have the high school student do, and it's really step by step with the diagrams. So that was the main reason I got this book in particular. And then this is an oxygen cycle, which I'm assuming this would be like a main lesson page for a high schooler. And so that is why I got this particular book. And I'm a very visual person when it comes to seeing how to do experiments. So I really appreciate that. This book, and I feel like it's really hand-holding. And it has it by age. So that's 11th grade. Let's look at the table of contents. So this is the Waldorf High School chemistry program. And you used to be able to get this in print. I don't know if you still can. So, and this is a description of Gothian chemistry, if you're not familiar with Waldorf and you want to learn more about that. So block notes. Okay, so 9th grade chemistry. So that's helpful. Let's see if we can find where the 10th grade chemistry starts. 10th grade chemistry. So similar to Charlotte Mason, from what I've seen, I'm not an expert and I haven't done this before. It looks like you do an interdisciplinary science, and they do this in the younger grades too. I just haven't been great about that either in Waldorf. So you're doing like a little bit of chemistry, and then I'll show you the other books. So let's just call that good enough for that. That's the Waldorf High School chemistry program. Then earth science, this one's rather thick. It's about almost an inch. And it's a similar layout. So you have Introduction to Life and Earth Sciences, and then you have it broken down by grade. So in 9th grade, you're doing geology. In 10th grade, you're doing the Earth in Motion. And then there's crystallology for 10th grade. And then Earth Science and Surveying. Astronomy in 11th grade. Paleontology, Anthropology in 12th grade. So let's look at... so again, I got these for background information, but I also got them for it really teaching you how to do it. Like, this is what you teach. So here's like, for example, block contents. And then this would be, these are diagrams. And then you have an example of a map with where earthquakes occur. You could do that for a main lesson. Drawing. You have a demonstration of a type of, what's it called? Convergent plate boundary. And so that was why I really wanted to get these books, is to see this in print. It's really hard to navigate forums and print out individual pages and have this like cohesive thing. So I was hoping if I did this, I could kind of blend maybe what we're doing with the Charlotte Mason and the CMEC stuff, and also have like an artistic representation of these things. And then 10th grade. And then this is crystallology. So, so far I'm happy with, excuse me, how visually represented these things are. Okay. Right, so that's earth science. And I just got all of these. I don't know if I'm going to even need them this year or not, or if I'll use them. But since I was already putting together a printing order, and then this book I kind of zoomed over, Introduction to Study of the Stars. So this is Astronomy. And this is a pretty short book. I think it's only like it's only like 50 pages. And so Waldorf science is really based on, as you know, Charlotte Mason science is, I believe, on observation and like studying of the natural processes versus a more academic approach. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to retrain myself to try to do. So here you see, if you're looking at the eastern horizon, or if you're looking at the southern horizon, it's giving you demonstrations of how to do that. And if you remember the... can't remember his name right now, but there's an artist that does these types of drawings. It's often recommended in Waldorf circles because it's the same observation of natural phenomenon. And again, this is like something that could be in a main lesson book. And this is kind of similar to the geography, I think, that is taught in several different Charlotte Mason books, or orientation, or what have you. And then here's a couple of diagrams of the night sky. Okay, so that's Introduction to the Study of the Stars. And then last is Waldorf High School Physics Program. And so again, this breaks it down by grade, and it's again Goethean physics. I'm not an expert, don't ask me to explain what that means. I just know, and by the way, his name is pronounced Goethe, so I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that, but I had a European legal cultures professor who was lecturing to us about that for about 6 weeks, and I had no idea that that was how you spelled it. Anyway, so you have a course outline. This is basically the, what is it called? Scope and sequence, if you needed that for like charter purposes. Teaching notes. And then you have lab info. And, oops, I'm getting stuck on that. So obviously this is going to take me a lot of time to look through, but in the meantime, I wanted to share this new resource that oh, and then look, here's a block outline for 10th grade that I'm trying to look at to increase the breadth of our science and make it more interesting and accessible. And there's a salmon here, which is kind of interesting. Oh, and then Aristotle in the medieval church. So I think in whatever grade this is, they're also learning about that. So there's this interconnectedness in the curriculum. And then these could be main lesson book pages. Experiments with Newton's second law. And you can purchase Waldorf science experiment kits. They're kind of hard to find for high school, but I did see like middle school ones that you could probably hack if you had all of the different parts for these things. Oh, and that's interesting. Electric Life of Michael Faraday. So that's the author of, can't remember exactly what it's called, but like the properties of a candle. He wrote that book. So that's kind of interesting. And I think a lot of the stuff that they do in the chemistry with candles is related to his book too. Like it's the same sort of procedure. 12th grade physics. Oh, and the eye and seeing, interesting. And then there's music, because Waldorf does music. So that is pretty much that. I hope you guys enjoyed this flip through. Like I said, I'll try to remember to put the links in the description at some point. We do have a busy baseball week, so if I forget, that's my excuse. But thanks for flipping through these with me. And if you want to see more videos about our eclectic homeschool life, please hit subscribe. And thanks for watching.